If you saw my original review and demo of the Behringer WAVE, you'll know I did make a couple of comments, a couple of suggestions, one being that the filter envelope was made more natural, and second being that the looping amount or the looping time of the transients should be increased so you could get more natural sounding things from that as well. Envelopes have now got an exponential mode, and the looping of the transients has gone from 128 up to 8,192 samples, which means you can do stuff like this. Transient is sampled from the Mellotron, so I'll throw that up for my patrons if you want to have a little play with it yourself. Start off by taking a look at the envelopes then. Listening to that, you can hear there's an unnatural end to the envelope, isn't there? And that's your PPG envelopes. That's what the original sounded like. Now we've got firmware version 2 we can put in this. We're going to the program mode. Firmware, that was on 1, which is the original envelopes, as is 0, just to show you that. It's the same as 1. If we go to 2 though, a much more natural ending to it. It lasts a little bit longer, so to try and get them even. Just a demo to compare. If we look at these two WAV files from Logic, the top one is the original PPG style envelope, and you can see that we've got lovely straight lines for the decay and the release. And then on the bottom, we've got firmware 2, that's the update, and we can see we've got exponential, comes down a lot longer till it flattens out on the sustain, and then an exponential drop for the release. And if we just zoom in a little bit to the attack phase, they seem to be the same. But yeah, there's a distinct difference there, and you can really hear it in the tones. So yeah, now you can make things sound a little bit more natural if that's what you want. Take it away from being a strict 80s PPG clone. And the next thing that we've got is the looping point on the transients, or the looping length of the transients. If we come into a program I've prepared earlier, that's this. You couldn't have made that tone with the previous firmware. That's because if we go into digital here, I've got this on user wave 2. When we're in transient mode, this user wave here acts on the transient loop length now. So originally it was this. That's 128 samples long. So if you did see my original demo, you'll know that it was just a bit weird. It would have been nicer if you could increase it. So now it's been increased to the maximum length. Well, you can go to, I think this is 2,048 samples. So that just gives us another flavor. Go back to the original 0, completely different. Back to 1. Then take it up to 2, which is 8,192 samples. Nice, you can hear that it's looping. But it's a nice little effect, isn't it? In fact, I use that as an effect on this next little demo. That transient's taken from the waveterm. Actually, there's a website, PPG website, with all of them on it, or hundreds of them at least. But you can hear the loop. And yeah, I like the effect, it's nice. Go digital, let's put the user wave onto 1. And again, if we put that onto what we had previously, you can see now why I wanted that update. Anyway, I'll throw these couple of patches and those transients up for patrons as well. And just a little bit more detail on that 8192. In fact, when you load in your transients, I know they can be 32,000 samples long, but it actually only plays the first 8,192, and that's why you can't have it any longer. And I did a little test of that using a sample that just plays a scale. So you can hear where it stops. If I come into my sort of initial program, it's a shame it doesn't have an initial program on it. I go into digital, is it a program? Go to wave, and it's on wave 53. Just turn that. Put that back on 2. You can hear that's just playing 2 notes, when the actual sample is 6. Just in case, like me, you try and spend a lot of time trying to find loop points and mess around with the samples, anything after 8192 is ignored. So I spent ages trying to get crossover points for that choir sample that I got from the Mellotron in that very first demo. Tried to find a looping point so that I could get a smooth transition and didn't sort of pulse, but I just couldn't do it. Maybe you can. If you can, do let me know how you did it, because that would be quite cool. But yeah, great little updates. Really makes, it expands what you can do with the Behringer WAVE. If you're a patron, you'll be able to get hold of that transient, I'll throw it up there, and also put the initial patch that I've made up there as well. It's just really handy. It's a sawtooth from the end of wave 00 with no modulation. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do all the usual things. Ring the bell, subscribe, join me over on Patreon. I've got patches, samples, stuff to download. Also, take a look at my starskycar.com website as well. Like I always say, it's nice if you do pick up some of the cheaper bits, because it really does all help to support the channel. That's enough of the sort of end of video beg anyway. Thanks very much for staying to the very end, and I'll see you next time.